Hey, welcome to day 2. This is going to be social media 101. Before you freak out and say, I'm not on social media, or I don't want to be annoying on social media, or maybe you are on social media and you're like, I already know what I'm doing. The idea of this really quick training is just to get us all on the same page and to provide some best practices so you're comfortable on social media. Do you have to run your business on social media? No, but it's a really good tool and a really great way for you to scale and to get to more people, because the reality is all of us have a limit to our network, and social media is the easiest way for you to grow your network. So I am not a social media guru, but I am someone who has learned a lot over the last few years, and I am getting people coming to me about the business and the products based on what I'm doing. So I feel like I'm a few steps ahead, and I can certainly share with you the things I've learned. This is supposed to be 15 minutes. I'm going to do my best to keep it that way. So our whole goal here is attraction marketing, and I have notes. Attraction marketing, like I said, is kind of getting people to come to you about your product or service. They'll say something like, hey, I saw your post about this. Here's my questions, or here's my concerns. They're going to trust you, and it won't be weird. But like all forms of trust, trust is earned, and it takes time and consistency. Anyone can do it, but not everyone does. And it's that time and consistency part that really trips people up. I think the best analogy for social media is think of it like a party where you're walking around, mingling, seeing people you already know, meeting new people, commenting on how you like someone's outfit, getting in conversation with someone, getting to know someone better. You can't just sit in the corner and wash your face and think that people are going to come up and talk to you, right? You have to engage, say hello, share things about you, ask questions about other people, get to know people, so that if you do go in the corner at the party and wash your face, I'm using that as an analogy, right, for someone doing that on social media, people are going to go, oh, there's so-and-so. I really like her. I wonder why she's washing her face in the corner. I'm going to go see. Does that make sense? So our whole idea is to put ourselves out there in a consistent way so that we build trust. And then when we do share about the products or the business, people will come to you. That's the entire goal, and it will take time, okay? It's going to take three things. There's 3 parts of this equation: content, confidence, and consistency. And we're going to talk about all 3 very briefly. So content is what you post. And ideally, it's things that people want to save. It's things that they want to share, or it's things that they want to tag a friend in. It can be very messy, your content, because it should be consistent with the stage of life that you're in, and you need to show up in whatever season you're in. I'm showing up in my car recording this video after work because that's the season that I'm in. I work 12-hour shifts. I do the same thing on social media. You don't have to wait for a silent, kid-free moment to show up. Show up the way that you are. So the biggest question people have, especially if they're not really on social media very much right now, is what do I post about? You're going to come up with essentially 4 or 5 things that topics, genres, we call them pillars, I guess, that you post about. And think about it this way. If you're at brunch with all of your best friends, people that you feel incredibly comfortable with, maybe the person that you invited to your comfort call, what are you talking with them about? Is it beauty products? Is it like low tox products? Is it your kids? Is it running? What is it? What are the 4 or 5 things that you and all your best friends are talking about at happy hour? Those are going to be the same things that you're going to post about on social media. And just like in happy hour, you may talk to them about Hue and Grace. It's the same thing on social media. When you do that, it should be much easier. And we're going to provide you with a list of ideas and also some kind of already created posts about Hue and Grace that you can tweak to make sound like you, so that you're going to have a lot of ideas. But I want you to think about, what are the 4 or 5 things that make me me, that I talk to about with all of my best friends? And that's what we want you to post about. And if you do that, it will be easy to come up with a caption or what to say, because you're going to think of it just like you would when you're sitting with your friends. It doesn't take you 3 days to figure out what to say to your best friend when she's sitting next to you, right? It flows. That's how we want it to be when you're posting. I always want you to ask yourself before you post, does this provide some kind of value? So how are you adding value? You're sharing something that's helpful, making someone laugh, inspiring them. Don't overcomplicate it. Just ask yourself, is this helpful? If you want to post an awesome selfie of yourself because you feel great, rather than just saying, I feel really great. Or, something cheesy. Explain like, wow, I feel very confident today because of my new skincare routine. Or, gosh, I feel kind of vulnerable for this reason. Or here's what's going on with me today. Post something that is at least interesting and helpful to people, because that's how people will engage. The other thing I want you doing is asking for recommendations all the time, because you're going to find those people that give great recommendations. I've heard them called recommendation Ritas. The people that always tell you like the best shows to watch on Netflix, the best deals when sales are going on, about the best products. And you're going to be getting to know them through those conversations. And it's going to make sense to say, hey, recommendation Rita, you were always providing me with amazing recommendations. That's what I do with Hugh and Grace, right? Why aren't we doing this together? And she'll probably provide you with a series of objections that we're going to teach you to walk through. In fact, that's what day 5 is. It's about how to talk to people. But that is a great way to engage with your network and find those people that can also be great business partners. And remember, when you ask questions or you do polls, those people go into your DMs. So you can have that conversation with them. Also, you can answer your own polls and your own questions. It sounds stupid, but in all honesty, it's a great tool. You can ask yourself the questions that lead to the things that you want to share, and then share those. And that grabs people's attention. That's how we talk to people. That's how we're human. We wanted you to, talk about things, and as people engage, you will have opportunities to ask them about your business or your products. And again, we're going to talk about that on day 5. If you're connecting with people consistently, you will never have to worry about pitching someone or when to ask them about the products or business, because that will happen naturally. And another thing that I would recommend is, as you're having these conversations and bringing up Hugh and Grace or recommending the products, recommend always 2 products, one that's Hugh and Grace and one that's not. I think that's a great way to build trust, and it shows people that you're trying to be helpful and not just sell them. Again, we're going to give you a list of ideas, and it's not going to be scheduled or, on this day you have to do this, or it's Monday, you have to do Motivation Monday. It's going to be a list of 30 to 40 topics and posts that you can use when it feels right to you. I do want you to talk about your business at least once a week. I think that's the best practice. And we'll do the first one together. We're going to talk about that later this week too. I think you should show your face every day. I think it should be a non-negotiable. And here's why. A lot of these people in your social media are people that you haven't talked to in years. You went to high school with them. You met them at a wedding. They're a relative or a friend of a friend. And when you show your face consistently, they get to know you quicker, and they learn to trust you faster. We want you to build trust, because then when you share things about Hugh and Grace, people know that you're legit. Also, please, for the love of God, your follower count does not matter. It's better to have 100 engaged followers than 10,000 randos. So nurture the audience you have. If you do that, I promise you can be successful. So that's a lot about content. I will make sure all these notes are available to you. So just feel free to just kind of soak that in. But I want you to really think about consistently showing your face and providing value, whether it's just humor, inspiration, relating to people, a product recommendation. Sprinkle in Hugh and Grace, but don't do it all the time. And we will give you a list of topic ideas to do that. And we'll do your first few kind of with you as we progress through these 7 days, right? Okay. Confidence. You should be confident in what you're doing and what you're sharing. Even if you've been in business for 5 minutes, okay? The product or opportunity has done something for you. If another product did something for you, you would share it. It's the same thing here. And I posted this on my Instagram. It's a Chinese proverb, supposedly. When someone shares something of value with you, you have a moral obligation to share it. And I think we really feel that way. But when it comes to making our own sales, I think women get a little self-conscious, because I think the root cause of it is that we feel weird. We feel weird talking about it because there's money involved. And we think that if money's attached to it and we're talking about it, that they're going to think that, if we make money doing this, it's bad. Well, guess what? We're trying to make money doing this, and people have no problem spending money on things that provide them value. So don't worry about it being related to money. We're providing a service and getting paid for it, okay? Any other company in the world gives you a link and gives you a kickback if you share their product. This is the exact same thing, but you're coming from a mission-driven place, which is much different. Whatever you are doing, people have to warm up to it. And so the consistency piece is so important here. If you are being timid about it, it's going to be very hard for people to warm up to it. You're kind of like, the analogy is a little campfire. So have you ever said, this is my new business, so if you want any info, just let me know. Or I'm here if you need anything, send me a message. You know, people aren't going to warm up to that quickly. You want to be literally like a huge bonfire over here with your excitement. You don't have to be rah, but be confident. These are the best natural products I've ever used, or this is what it's done for my skin. This is how the night serum feels. I love that the company's mission driven. You can be confident without being rah. And at that point, people are going to see that colossal energy instead of the little timid campfire. You're going to be the big bonfire. And if anything, people are just going to say, hey, what's going on over there? And go check it out. Okay. Think about your followers. Like, who are they? Do you text them every day? Do you talk to them every day? Probably not. So, you need to put your face out there and be bold and grab their attention, because that will help you convert them. The confidence really is so important. The kind of cool thing I think about our industry is that there is a negative connotation, right? That, hey girl, that cheesy people putting, graphic posts up on their profile, or just being gross. That's actually good, because as soon as you're different, people will notice. So if you come on there and say, hey, this is a great thing, this is what I'm doing to make money, or this is what I love about it, and you're sincere and genuine and not cheesy, you will stand out instantly. That confidence will help you stand out. I promise you that. Tell people what it offers to you and what it offers to someone else. Get excited. Again, you do not have to be rah. My last little tip on confidence is to be purposefully paralyzing. So when it comes to your confidence on social media. So what do I mean by that? Have an opinion on something. Get in your stories, have your audience react to your opinion. Even if it's something stupid like Samsungs are dumb, iPhones are awesome, Thin Mints are the best Girl Scout cookies, like whatever it is, be polarizing in your social media and you will start having conversations. You will be shocked. I did a post recently about how I hate candy corn, and I got into so many different conversations with people. Ultimately, that is an income producing activity, because you're making connections and you're building credibility when you start having those conversations. So confidence. If you don't have it, if you feel uncomfortable, you're going to have to show up scared until it shows up. Because if you're that timid little campfire, hey, reach out to me if you're interested, I promise you no one will reach out to you. But if you say, hey, this is an awesome product, I've been using it, I love it, here's why, and here's what I think it can do for you, people will reach out to you. The last thing is consistency. This is super simple. You have to consistently provide good content, and you have to keep doing it. So there is a graphic that I will post, and essentially we think that as we do activity, the results follow like this, as an absolute straight line. And I promise you, in this business, it's a curve. What will happen is you will show up and show up and show up and show up, and no one will be there, and you think you're doing nothing and that you're a total loser, and all of a sudden it hits, because people see it enough and they eventually start coming to you, and you will watch like yourself just soar. But the problem is, so many people quit before they get to that point. So I'm urging you to consistently show up. Plan on doing it for 6 months. For real. You will see progress along the way, but I promise you that curve looks like this. It doesn't look like this. Does that make sense? That's it, you guys. That's social media. Attraction marketing is getting people to come to you and ask you what you're doing, and having that conversation, sharing with them what it can do for them, and that's when you make the sale. And we will talk in the next few days about what those conversations look like, and we will be here to walk you through them, because we know you don't know what to say yet, but we have all of that for you, and I promise it's very simple. When you show up with good content that's relatable, that's you in the season of life that you're in, people people will be drawn to that, and we'll give you some ideas. There's some below here in this video, and we have some more for you on the Google Drive. You have to do it confidently and you have to do it consistently. And I promise if you do those things and you don't give up and you keep doing it till it works, you will have people coming to you. That's Social Media 101 from my car. I hope that helps, guys.